Smile, and remember, you're mine. Don't disappoint me. You're dangerous. You look dangerous, Amara. The hotel was exactly what I expected. Ostentatious luxury, crystal chandeliers, Italian marble. When we entered, all eyes turned to us. Or rather, to Kenji. He commanded attention simply by existing, and I, by his side, felt the weight of every speculative gaze. His hand found the curve of my bare back, possessive. Smile, he murmured. And remember, you're mine. We circulated through the ballroom. Kenji greeted important people with effortless charm. I remained by his side, smiling, nodding, playing the part perfectly. And then, I saw him. Richard Sterling. Gray hair, charming smile, eyes cold as ice. He walked toward us, extending his hand to Kenji. Takahashi, what a surprise to see you here. I thought you were indisposed. There was venom in the polite words. Kenji smiled, a predator's smile. Never too busy to support a good cause, Sterling. Sterling's gaze slid to me, assessing, dissecting. And who is this beauty? Before Kenji could answer, I found my voice. Amara Washington. Recognition flashed in Sterling's eyes. And then, something dangerous. The journalist, he said slowly. What an interesting article you published. My blood froze, but I kept my smile. Just doing my job. And now, he tilted his head. What kind of work are you doing alongside Mr. Takahashi? The tension between the two men was palpable, electric. Kenji pulled me closer, his hand sliding around my waist. Amara is under my protection now, and I take very good care of what's mine. The implications were clear, and Sterling understood perfectly. His eyes gleamed with something between anger and amusement. I see. How romantic. He walked away, but not before casting one last look in my direction, a look that promised danger. When he was out of sight, my knees almost gave out. You did well, Kenji murmured, guiding me to a more private corner. But now comes the hard part. He slipped something small and discreet into my hand, a recording device. Sterling will conduct business in the private office in 20 minutes. You need to place this under his desk. How? I asked, panic rising. You'll figure it out, he said, his eyes fixed on mine. I trust you. Trust. That word again. All right, I'll do it. 20 minutes later, I was outside Richard Sterling's private office. My heart beat so loud I was sure someone could hear it. I took a deep breath, adjusted my dress, and knocked on the door. Come in, came Sterling's voice. I opened the door. He was alone, sitting behind an imposing desk, a glass of whiskey in his hand. Miss Washington, he said, surprised. What can I do for you? I forced a seductive smile. I wanted to apologize. For the article, I didn't understand the whole situation. His eyes narrowed, suspicious, but interested. I walked toward him slowly. Each step, calculated, the slit in the dress revealing my leg. His eyes followed the movement. Kenji explained many things to me, and I realized that. Maybe I was too hasty in my judgments. I stopped in front of his desk, leaned forward slightly, giving him a clear view of my neckline. I wanted to know if there's any way to make up for my mistake. His eyes gleamed with something obscene. Interesting. He stood up, rounding the desk, coming toward me. He stopped inches from me. You're a very beautiful woman, Amara, he murmured, his fingers touching my arm. It would be a shame to waste this potential. Nausea rose in my throat, but I kept my smile, and discreetly I let the device drop behind the desk, pretending to adjust my shoe. So, Do we have a deal? He laughed, a sound without warmth. Maybe, depending on... The door burst open abruptly. Kenji. His eyes found mine first, then went to Sterling, to the proximity between us, and something dangerous burned in that gaze. "Sterling," he said, his voice deadly calm, "take your hand off her. Now." Sterling smiled, but obeyed, raising his hands in false surrender. "Just talking, Takahashi. Nothing major." Kenji entered, closing the door behind him. His movements controlled, but I saw tension in every muscle. "Amara, go to the ballroom," he ordered, never taking his eyes off Sterling. "Kenji. Now." I should obey, should leave. But something held me there. And then I saw it. Sterling pulling a gun from the desk drawer. Everything happened in slow motion. I screamed. Kenji moved. The sound of the gunshot exploded in the confined air, and I saw Kenji fall. Time seemed to freeze. Kenji was on the floor. Blood. So much blood. But before I could scream again, he stood up in an explosive movement. The bullet had only grazed his arm, and in 3 seconds, he disarmed Sterling, twisting his wrist until the gun fell to the floor. "You made a mistake," Kenji hissed, holding Sterling against the wall. Sterling laughed, even in pain. "You think this ends here? You're a dead man, Takahashi, and your little whore, too." Kenji punched Sterling's face, once, twice, until he passed out. Then he turned to me. "Did you place the device?" he asked, urgent. Still in shock, I nodded. "Yes, I did." The device's light was blinking, still recording, including Sterling's confession, including the attempted murder. Kenji saw, and for the first time, smiled, genuinely. "You're brilliant," but there was no time to celebrate. Sirens. Many sirens. Kenji grabbed my hand. "We need to leave. Now." We ran through service corridors, down emergency stairs. My high heels made everything harder, but I didn't stop. Finally, we reached a side exit where a car waited. We got in. The driver took off, and only then, in the relative safety of the moving vehicle, did I allow reality to hit me. I started trembling, uncontrollably. Kenji pulled me close, wrapping me in his arms. "You're safe," he murmured. "I promise, you're safe." I clung to him, feeling the warmth of his body, the scent of his cologne mixed with blood and sweat. "Your arm," I whispered. "You need a doctor." "Later. First, we need to make sure you're really safe." I looked at him. At this man who had entered my life like a hurricane. Dangerous, controlling, but also protective. Vulnerable when he spoke of the sister he lost. "Why did you do this?" I asked softly. "Why risk your life for me?" His eyes met mine, and in them, I saw something that scared me more than Sterling, more than guns or danger. I saw truth. "Because somewhere between the bar and that red dress," he said slowly, "you stopped being just a tool and became important." My heart jumped. "Kenji," he placed a finger on my lips. "Don't say anything now. Just stay with me until we finish this." I nodded, because there was nothing more I could say, because he was right. Something had changed between us, something dangerous, intense. The car took us to a safe location, a house on the outskirts of the city, discreet, isolated. Inside, Kenji finally let me care for the wound. The bullet had only grazed, but the wound was bleeding. "You were lucky," I murmured, cleaning the blood with gauze. "It wasn't luck," he said, watching my face. "It was you. Your scream warned me." I finished the bandage in silence. When I was done, he took my hand. "Amara, there's something you need to know." Something in his voice made me freeze. "What?" He took a deep breath. The flash drive you received, with the documents. I was the one who sent it. My world spun. What? I needed someone from the outside. Someone who could expose the network without raising suspicions about me. Someone brave enough to publish. I pulled away from him, shocked. You used me. Yes, he admitted, not looking away. I used you, but I didn't expect. What? That I'd almost die? That my sister would be threatened? I didn't expect to care. The words hung in the air. Anger and betrayal burned inside me. But also, something more. You put me in danger, I accused, my voice breaking. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it. He approached, but I backed away. No, don't come near me. Pain crossed his face. Amara. I need air. End of episode 2. Will Amara forgive Kenji? Or is this the end? Comment now.